NBA.com recently wrote an article about RJ Barrett, and in that article, they actually took a little bit of a shot at him. We're going to break down the article and see exactly what they said. We're also going to take a look at what Julius Randle said about Jalen Brunson only playing 6 minutes in the preseason opener. All of this and so much more today on the Knicks Digest. NBA.com has taken a little bit of a shot at RJ Barrett. Now, you guys know I love RJ Barrett, but a lot of people have criticized him over his years in the NBA because he hasn't done everything that has been expected of a number 3 overall pick to do. Obviously, a lot of people thought he would be further along in his career and maybe be spoken about in the likes of Zion and Ja. And even though he's spoken along with those names, it's only because they were in the same draft class, not because of the same talent level. At least that's what a lot of people say. And according to NBA.com, they stated it's fair to say that after being selected with the number 3 pick in the 2019 draft, RJ Barrett had a disappointing first 4 seasons. And when New York Basketball on Twitter polled the Twitter Knicks universe on this, about 40 to 60 split here. 40% agreed that Barrett had a disappointing first 4 seasons, and then 60% actually disagreed, stating that he didn't have a disappointing first 4 seasons. So it really depends on how you look at it. Because on one hand, each and every year, he has gotten better, apart from last year, which he's really regressed last year. But other than that, every year he's been in the league, he's gotten better. So that, shows case that he can get better in this league, do things better in this league, and actually adapt. His body has gotten better, his physique, the way he's come into camp and in shape, obviously working on his game, understanding what works with his game. Those things all come with the years of experience. So maybe he has picked up a thing or two. But the disappointing factor is when you compare him to the likes of the talent that Zion Williamson is, even though he really hasn't played much because of injury, and then the talent that Ja Morant is. Regardless of what he does off the court, we can talk about that in another video in regards to all the shenanigans he does off court. But in terms of on court, there's a difference in level. A lot of people see it that way. And since RJ Barrett has struggled a lot of the season, especially regular season last year, and then in the postseason, he did explode and have really good numbers and did really good for the Knicks, but it took him till the postseason to do that. And maybe that's a good thing, shine when the lights are brightest, but at the same time, you want to see consistency from RJ Barrett. And I think that's why NBA.com wrote that. It's not because RJ Barrett doesn't have the capability or the talent. He obviously has flashes of it and he showcases that. It's really, does RJ Barrett have the ability to do this consistently each and every night? Because if he can, I'm sure NBA.com doesn't write this about RJ Barrett. And I'm sure the sway in terms of agreeing and disagreeing with for RJ is definitely more lopsided. It might be 80-20 if he could just be more consistent. Obviously, in the first preseason game, we saw him be at least a little bit more confident and definitely more lethal with his free throws. He didn't miss. So right now, he's perfect headed into the next preseason game against Minnesota. That's going to be another great game. And for me, I'm going to be looking for consistency. Because at the end of the day, that's RJ Barrett's biggest issue. He always does these things to himself because if he was more consistent, he would be a very good player for this Knicks team. His value would probably be a lot higher. And more than that, I think he'd be a more impactful player for the Knicks. One of the things I said to an NBA insider recently, Greg Schwartz, if you guys haven't seen that video yet, please go ahead and check the edited video or the live stream of it. We talked about RJ Barrett in terms of what he needs to do. And one of the main things that we mentioned is that this year, he needs to be able to take that step into stardom because he always has the ability to do so. But if he can just get more consistent, maybe not even have 25 points, 19 points, 18 points on more efficient shooting, I think the New York Knicks would love that. Fans would love that. And I think it would help spread that ball around more so everybody got a chance to eat and allow themselves to get on the point rack. So I think that helps out a lot if you think about it and you look at the New York Knicks if they operate that way with RJ Barrett. But it's all up to RJ Barrett. Nobody else can help him be that consistent beside himself. We've seen FIBA, we've seen the offseason workouts, we've seen all of it. But we also saw in that preseason game, besides that great three-pointer that he hit, he was still a UFO mostly when he was shooting the ball. We have to see consistency from RJ Barrett on that end. If we do that, it changes the game not only for the New York Knicks, but for everything they're hoping to do for next season. Julius Randle recently spoke about Jalen Brunson playing 6 minutes in the preseason game. And listen, I don't care if he played only 6 minutes. Those 6 minutes were lethal. Jalen Brunson is ready to play basketball right now. Ready to play. He had 10 points, by the way, in the 6 minutes that he played. I think it was 5 for 6. He's still just as efficient as ever. But when Julius Randle was asked about Jalen Brunson and why he was playing these minutes, he had the following response. Randle stated he played in the World Cup. He's got his legs under him. We'll be playing 35 minutes here pretty soon. And that, even though it was meant to be a little funny, it's very, very true. Tom Thibodeau is taking it easy on his starters right now, giving them breaks, giving them rest, all that other stuff. Wait till the second to last preseason game hits. They're going to be playing about 30, 35 minutes. Then when season comes along, 35 to 37 to 38 minutes plus. Guaranteed. Julius Randle led the league in minutes. He's usually one of the leaders in minutes played per game each and every year, especially as he's been a New York Knick. I expect that to continue into this season. Jalen Brunson, I don't think he's going to be able to get a break as well, too. He's going to have to do his thing. Although you can make the argument with Donte DiVincenzo being added, him having the playmaking ability as well, too. Maybe if the New York Knicks are doing well in the game, they keep Donte out there a little bit more, give Jalen the time to rest. We'll see what Tom Thibodeau does, but, with adjustments and Thibs, he likes to play his lineups in a certain way, system way. I don't really like that, but he does that, even if that means going away from the hot hand, and even if that means playing your players 35, 38 minutes a night, maybe some nights when you really don't even have to. That's really what I'm going to be looking at from Tom Thibodeau in regards to his minutes for players this season. But I think it's no secret. Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, and RJ Barrett are going to play the bulk of the minutes for the New York Knicks. They have to, because if they don't, the New York Knicks are not going to have a chance to be able to win. So they're going to have to be able to do that. So I feel like with the Knicks, the best thing that they can do right now is slowly get their players along and let them enjoy the small little break while they have the chance. Because as soon as Tom Thibodeau feels the need to turn the heat all the way up, it's going up. And those minutes going right up with them. And a lot of those minutes are going to be distributed very differently, I think, heading into the season. We haven't seen Josh Hart in this team yet. I think he affects the minutes that people play as well, too. Grimes likely gets less. IQ likely gets less. But more importantly, RJ Barrett might get less if he does not prove to the New York Knicks coaching staff that he can at least close out games with a strength that we've not seen before. Because honestly, last season, especially after Josh Hart came here, RJ Barrett's minutes reduced because of Josh Hart's ability to stay on the court, what he did defensively, what he did offensively, and his rebounding. So RJ Barrett's going to have to remember that his spot in the closing lineup is not guaranteed. He's going to have to earn it. He's going to have to fight for it. And consistency is the only way he's going to do it. I know we're talking about continuity. Each and every single presser, I feel like that's the word. Continuity, continuity. I feel like I dream it now. Continuity. Great. How about consistency? How about we as a team be more consistent with our passing? How about we as a team be more consistent with our shooting? And how about us as a team be more consistent in our work, in our commitment, and our focus each and every game? We lock in like that. We don't take any team lightly. We make sure it's always on and sparking hot. When we go into a game, the Knicks can be a dangerous team. They have the talent. They do. They just need to motivate them, unlock them, and push them to reach that next step. Because at the end of the day, they didn't really upgrade the talent. All they have to build off is that chemistry. And if they can do that, they might be one of the teams in the East that you might not see coming. And might be a team that a lot of other teams will want to avoid. But let me know in the comments, guys. What do you think about this New York Knicks team headed into next season? Who's getting the bulk of the minutes? What do you think about Jalen Brunson playing such a low minute workload in that first preseason game? And when do you think that's going to change? Let me know in the comments, guys. I would really like to hear your thoughts on the matter. But this is going to do it for me. This has been Troy with the Knicks Digest. I'm out of here. Until next time, Knick fans. Peace.